Have you ever heard of a pickup truck that was once promised as a high-performance super truck, only to have its supercharged engine mysteriously vanish before release? Or an SUV converted into a truck with a power-sliding roof so complex it failed within months? Some of these vehicles generated massive buzz, hailed as game-changers, only to disappear without a trace due to baffling design flaws. One cost its company hundreds of millions in losses. Another never even reached production, despite being fully designed down to its aircraft-style dashboard. In this video, we're uncovering some of the most disastrously failed pickup trucks you've never heard of. Machines so strange, so misguided, they've been buried deep in automotive history. Until now. Number 1. Ford Sport Trac Adrenaline. Imagine this. In 2005, Ford announced a high-performance pickup unlike anything before. A 390-horsepower, all-wheel drive monster with a supercharged V8 and SVT badging. Truck fans went wild. It was hailed as the spiritual successor to the legendary Ford Lightning. Then, in 2008, the Adrenaline hit the market, and every promise vanished. No supercharger, no performance. What we got was a dressed-up Explorer Sport Trac with 20-inch wheels, black trim, and the Adrenaline name. But none of the power. Under the hood, you had two choices: a 210-horsepower V6 or a 292-horsepower V8. The suspension? Identical to the standard version, yet Ford charged nearly $3,000 more for it. The result? A crushing disappointment. Enthusiasts felt betrayed, and the Adrenaline faded into obscurity, especially after the Ford Raptor debuted just 2 years later. The Adrenaline didn't fail because it was weak. It failed because it promised the world, then delivered nothing. Number 2. GMC Envoy XUV. Some vehicles are born to solve real-world problems. Others seem built just to show off engineering tricks. In 2004, GMC unveiled the Envoy XUV, a mid-size SUV packed with moving parts, all answering the question, but who asked for this? This vehicle featured a unique function. Its rear roof section could retract, transforming it from a closed SUV into a small pickup-like hauler. The core of this design was the midgate system, a flexible setup where the rear window slid into the tailgate, the roof retracted forward, and the partition behind the second row folded flat. GMC's goal was maximum versatility: haul tall items like refrigerators while still functioning as a family SUV. To make that happen, they engineered one of the most complex retractable roof systems ever fitted to a production vehicle. It involved multiple electric motors, rubber seals, and intricate mechanical components, all potential failure points. And fail they did. Customers soon reported leaks, jams, and deteriorating seals. The midgate partition also proved awkward to operate in practice. GMC had projected 30,000 units annually. In reality, just over 13,000 were sold before production ended after only 2 years. The total development cost was a staggering $125 million. Money GM never recovered. Number 3. Chevrolet SSR. In 2003, Chevrolet launched one of the most bewildering vehicles ever produced: the Chevrolet SSR. It had the body of a pickup, the styling of a hot rod, and a retractable hardtop like a convertible. The problem? It didn't truly excel at being any of those things. SSR, short for Super Sport Roadster, featured a power-folding hardtop that tucked into the rear body behind the seats. It originally came with a 5.3-liter V8, producing 300 horsepower. Later upgraded to the LS2 6.0-liter with 390 horsepower. Impressive, if not for the vehicle's massive curb weight. Built on the same platform as the mid-size Trailblazer SUV, the SSR tipped the scales at nearly 4,800 pounds, heavier than some full-size pickups of the time. That weight sapped performance, and the truck bed was far too small and shallow for serious hauling. With a $42,000 base price in 2003, roughly $66,000 today, the SSR aimed high, but didn't know which audience to target. GM hoped for 13,000 annual sales, but only managed just over 24,000 total during its 4-year run. Reportedly, GM lost $5,000 per vehicle, with total losses surpassing $100 million. Number 4. Subaru Baja. Remember the Subaru Brat from the 1970s and 80s? In 2003, Subaru tried to channel that quirky spirit into something new, the Subaru Baja, a vehicle created to answer a question no one asked. What if an Outback suddenly thought it was a pickup truck? At its core, the Baja was an Outback wagon with the rear cargo area replaced by a tiny 41-inch bed, far too small for any real utility. To compensate, Subaru introduced the switchback system. Fold the rear seats, open a small pass-through door between the cabin and bed, and you could theoretically carry items up to 7.5 feet long. Theoretically, because the opening was too narrow to be truly useful. Beyond its awkward function, the Baja's looks made it even stranger. Massive gray plastic cladding, integrated bed rails, and bold Baja lettering on both sides. Critics likened it to wearing the wrong Halloween costume to the wrong party. Subaru aimed for 24,000 units per year. In reality, just over 30,000 were sold over 4 years, 2003 to 2006. By 2005, nationwide sales dropped below 300 per month. Starting at $24,000 in 2003, it landed awkwardly between compact trucks and upscale SUVs, without excelling at either. Today, the Baja has found a small cult following. Its rarity and retro weird styling have made it unexpectedly valuable among collectors who appreciate oddball designs. Number 5. Hummer H2 SUT. If there was ever a vehicle that embodied America's pre-recession extravagance, it was the Hummer H2 SUT, the pickup variant of the civilian Hummer H2, launched in 2005. The H2 SUT began as a massive SUV. GM then chopped off the rear cargo area and added a tiny 3-foot bed. To improve functionality, they included a midgate system borrowed from the Chevy Avalanche. Remove the rear glass and fold down the partition to extend the bed to over 6 feet. Under the hood, it had a 6.0-liter V8 with 316 horsepower, later upgraded to a 6.2-liter with 393 horsepower. But none of that could offset its nearly 6,700-pound curb weight, heavier than some medium-duty commercial trucks. Fuel economy? Abysmal. In real-world driving, the H2 SUT struggled to hit 10 miles per gallon. Its absurd size, 203 inches long, 81 inches wide, and a turning radius of 43.5 feet, made parking or urban driving almost impossible. It launched at $53,000 in 2005, with loaded models crossing $60,000. But by 2009, GM filed for bankruptcy, and the entire Hummer brand was axed. The H2 SUT was born in a moment of unchecked optimism and vanished when reality struck. Number 6. Dodge Dakota Convertible. Some ideas sound cool until they hit the real world. A convertible pickup truck. Sounds bold and free-spirited. But when Chrysler brought it to life in the late 1980s, the results were anything but ideal. The Dodge Dakota Convertible, built from 1989 to 1991, started as a standard Dakota. It was shipped to the American Sunroof Company, where the roof was cut off, the frame reinforced, and a manual vinyl top with a plastic rear window was added. Problems emerged quickly. Structural rigidity suffered, causing body flex and rattles. Rainwater leaked into the cabin, and the soft top was cumbersome to operate, requiring drivers to exit the vehicle. The roof mechanism also ate into cargo space, further limiting utility. Marketed as a lifestyle truck, it promised open-air fun with pickup practicality. In reality, it delivered neither convincingly. Chrysler hoped for 2,500 units per year, but only 3,759 were sold over 3 years. Today, surviving Dakota convertibles are collectors' rarities, not because of value, but because so few escaped rust, rain, and time. Number 7. Toyota Hiace truck. Before the Toyota Tacoma rose to fame as America's favorite midsize pickup, Toyota experimented with something unconventional. Meet the Toyota Hiace truck, a cab-over pickup based on the company's popular Hiace and Lightace vans. Though it was never officially sold in the U.S. as the Toyota van truck, this quirky model appeared in several global markets during the 1980s. Its key feature was the cab-forward design. The driver sat directly over the front axle, with the engine mounted beneath the seat. The result? Overheated cabins and painfully awkward maintenance. Checking the oil often required removing interior panels and floor insulation. Power came from a modest 2.2-liter inline-4 engine, making just 101 horsepower, trying to move nearly 4,000 pounds of vehicle. 0 to 60, a glacial 15 seconds. Still, in Japan, Asia, and Australia, these cab-over vans were loved for their compact size and urban utility. In the U.S., a few made their way through gray market imports or custom conversions. Among Toyota enthusiasts, the Hiace truck has become a retro oddity, cherished not for performance, but for being a unicorn in pickup history. Number 8. Ford Ranchero Scrambler concept. If Ford had chosen to continue down the car-based pickup path after ending the Ranchero in 1979, the Scrambler might have been the final chapter, and perhaps the weirdest. Built on the Fox Body Mustang platform, the Scrambler featured sleek styling, pop-up headlights, a 2-seat cockpit, and a tiny bed in the back. But that was just the start. It tried to be everything at once. Removable glass T-tops for a convertible feel, a rear window you could stash under the bed floor, and a tailgate that turned into a ramp for loading motorcycles or ATVs. Planning to camp? Ford considered offering a tent that attached directly to the bed. The proposed engine lineup ranged from fuel-efficient 4-cylinders to punchy V8s, reflecting early 80s oil crisis uncertainty. Inside, the cockpit had digital gauges and an aircraft-inspired layout, like something out of a sci-fi movie. Ford conducted market research. The response? Brutal. Truck buyers called it underpowered and tiny. Coupe fans thought it was bulky and inconvenient. And with a projected price higher than both small trucks and sports cars, no one wanted it. In the end, Ford scrapped the Scrambler and focused on the Ranger, a true small pickup, better aligned with market trends. Looking back, it was the right call. Within a few years, the car-based pickup segment collapsed entirely. The last survivor, the Subaru Brat, ended production in 1987. Number 9. Lincoln Blackwood. If any pickup truck was designed by people who'd never used a pickup, it's the Lincoln Blackwood. Launched in late 2001, the Blackwood was Lincoln's first and last attempt to enter the luxury truck market. But instead of blending utility with elegance, Lincoln removed the utility altogether. At its core, the Blackwood was a chopped Lincoln Navigator with a short cargo bed. But this was no ordinary bed. It was carpet-lined, wrapped in stainless steel, covered with a power tonneau, and completely useless in the rain. The tailgate? Split Dutch doors instead of a practical drop-down design. As a result, it could hardly carry anything. Even worse, it came only with rear-wheel drive, hardly ideal for affluent buyers in snowy climates. Lincoln projected 18,000 annual sales. In reality, just 3,356 were built over 15 months. Base price? $52,500 in 2002. Number 10. Cadillac Escalade EXT. In 2002, Cadillac didn't tiptoe into the pickup truck market. They dove in, chrome first. The result was the Escalade EXT, one of the most luxurious and least practical pickups ever built. Based on the Chevrolet Avalanche, the EXT was essentially a high-end Escalade SUV with a reconfigurable cargo bed. Using GM's midgate system, owners could remove the rear glass and fold the back wall, extending the bed from 5 feet to 8 feet. Under the hood, a 6.0-liter V8 made 345 horsepower, later upgraded to a 6.2-liter, producing 403 horsepower. But the truck's hefty curb weight, nearly 5,800 pounds, meant real-world fuel economy rarely topped 13 miles per gallon. The interior? Pure Cadillac, leather everywhere, glossy wood trim, and all the gadgets of its time. Ironically, that luxury discouraged owners from using it like a real truck, for fear of dirtying the cabin. Cadillac aimed the EXT at upscale contractors and professionals, but they bought real pickups. Luxury buyers? They just got SUVs. Sales started modestly, around 13,000 in its first year. By the second generation in 2007, annual sales dropped below 5,000. Production ended in 2013, with fewer than 35,000 sold over both generations. The trucks you just saw, quirky, confused, and impractical, each started with one thing: ambition. Ambition to innovate, to break molds. But sometimes, ambition goes too far from what people actually need. And the result is unforgettable failure. Yet, failure teaches. These oddball machines reminded the auto world that not every wild idea should hit production, and sometimes a good truck just needs to be useful. Which one was your favorite misfit? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this strange ride through truck history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unusual automotive stories.